I feel like a lot of people really do romanticize this whole idea of I'm going to Europe and I'm going to make it big. The way that the people think the American dream, they think, oh, there's a European dream. I'm going to go in a year, I'm going to save up, build a house in Ghana, have a big car, come on holidays, be the bugger. I don't know if you know what bugger is. Be the bugger, I'm supposed to be. And then you meet people in Europe who are struggling. They have university degrees in Ghana, in Africa. They come to Europe, they do their masters, they're not getting into the job market. So then they settle for menial jobs. They're doing like cleaning. They're working in hospitals, cleaning adults, like social work, not social work, but doing like cleaning of the sick people and adults. They're washing dishes in restaurants. And then sometimes you ask yourself, is it really worth it? Hi, my name is Cecilia. I'm the co-founder and head of business development at KONZOOM. So basically KONZOOM is an online supermarket. And we always say, you know what, we'll bring you the soft life in the convenience of your home. We'll deliver your groceries and fresh produce to you within 60 minutes. A little bit of background about myself. I'm Ghanaian, I was born here, grew up in Ghana, had the opportunity to go with my family to Germany, did high school in Germany. After high school, I moved to the UK to do my bachelor's, but I've always wanted to come back to Ghana. It's always been a dream. I left Ghana and I've always had, like, I know it sounds cliche. People are like, oh my God, I know, I felt deep in my soul. No, I really just wanted to always come back to Ghana because this is where, for me, this is where I feel, at home, and I always feel like I do the most and I'm most productive. So after my master's as well back in Germany, I decided to move back to Ghana with my partner to set up KONZOOM. And we've been doing this for 8 months now, but the idea actually started in 2020 during the lockdown. And yeah, that's where we are now. Oh, I think this is the first time someone has actually asked me this question. So the transition for me was not easy. I'll be very honest, the transition was hard. Going from an English-speaking country to a German-speaking country to a high school at the age of 14. And teenagers can be so mean. So I went to school and these were kids who were like, oh, we don't want to talk to her because, she just came from Africa. And back then Africa was not cool. Now Africa seems so cool because we have all the Afrobeat musicians traveling the world, sharing their music with the world. We have all these cultural stuff happening around the world. So being African is really cool around. Like, if you tell people I'm from Africa, they're like, oh my God, which country? Ghana. Wow, I like your music, I like your food. But 18 years ago, 19 years ago, people didn't even want to be friends with you because you were from Africa, because all they saw on their TV were people starving, kids, wars, and poverty. But, so I went to high school, had struggled to really assimilate and make friends the first year or two until some new people came to the school who had also traveled around, had international background. And even though it was an international school, it was just they weren't as friendly. So it took me a while to really settle in and integrate. I think it took me like a good year or two before I finally thought, wow, this is interesting, it's cool. So it was definitely easier for me to move to the UK than it was for me to move from Ghana to Germany. In the UK, I already had family there, so I knew, just a train ride away, my auntie and my uncle and my cousins are there. The English language was definitely a pro for me because that was the language like I was brought up with, so it was easier for me to get around. And university was very international. I went to the University of Kent. It's called the UK's European University. So I had all my friends were very international, from Uganda, from Kenya, from Nigeria, even British people as well. So they were more open-minded than the people I met when I was in Germany, willing to learn from your culture, willing to, get to know you for you, beyond you being black. So the UK experience was really good. I think it really kept me grounded, opened me to opportunities, to friends who are still, who we're still in contact with, I'm still in contact with. So yeah, it was definitely easier. I have a few friends who moved from Ghana to Germany to do their masters, their PhD. And I know for certain, they keep saying it, like, I don't want to move back to Ghana. Ghana is hard, inflation, there's so much poverty, and even getting a good job, you need to know someone in that company. So I'm here in Germany, I have a good job and I'm good, which is fine. But I feel like a lot of people really do romanticize this whole idea of I'm going to Europe and I'm going to make it big. The way that the people think the American dream, they think, oh, there's a European dream. I'm going to go in a year, I'm going to save up, build a house in Ghana, have a big car, come on holidays, be the bugger. I don't know if you know what bugger is. Be the bugger, you know, I'm supposed to be. And then you meet people in Europe who are struggling. They have university degrees in Ghana, in Africa. They come to Europe, they do their masters, they're not getting into the job market. So then they settle for menial jobs. They're doing like cleaning. They're working in hospitals, cleaning adults, like social work, not social work, but doing like cleaning of the sick people and adults. They're washing dishes in restaurants. And then sometimes you ask yourself, is it really worth it? You know, you have a university degree, you have a master's degree. Is it worth it, you know, sacrificing 4 years, 5 years of your life doing menial jobs while your university degree is rotting, you know, in your cupboard and gathering dust, you know? So I think sometimes it all comes back to, you know, the economic situation, the background, where they are from, their families, and all of that. But I feel like sometimes you just need to take that big leap of faith and figure out what you really want to do and what you can actually add onto Ghana. Because I feel like from our own little corners, we can all do something incredible and amazing. You don't need so much money to do something, and you can live a very comfortable life here in Ghana because you look like everyone else on the street. No one is going to see you and sit next to you on the bus and like shift because they're like, oh, that's a black person sitting next to me. No one is going to do that. So I think I said at the beginning of the video that I've always wanted to live in Ghana. At 14, my parents thought the best for me was to take me to Germany, so I get like more opportunities. I go to school, university abroad. But personally, I didn't want to leave because I had all my friends here. I had a dream. I wanted to go to Wesley Girls High School, go to the University of Ghana, but I couldn't make that decision for myself. So the whole time I was in high school, I was like, I kept saying to my parents, once I'm done with university, adios. I'm leaving and going back to Ghana. And my parents knew this because they knew I was not happy being in Germany. I've always wanted to be in Ghana. So after uni, I said to my parents, I've gotten a job. I did a whole interview remotely. I have gotten a job and I'm moving to Ghana. They weren't really in support of that idea because they're like, why would you leave Europe? Like, you can get a good job here, earn good money. Why do you want to move to Ghana? And I was like, because you know very well, Ghana has always been my heart. That's where I want to live. And that's why I want to possibly have a family and have children. So I moved here in 2016. And then in 2017, due to personal circumstances, I moved back to Germany in the early 2018. So I went back to Germany, but I was still back in that situation where I was like, I still don't want to be here. Like, I want to be in Ghana. That's why I feel at home. I feel at peace. I want to go back. So during the lockdown, the COVID period, my husband, he also joined me in Germany. He really loves Ghana. He doesn't want to live in Europe. He's like, you know what? At some point, we're moving. You are with me on this, right? I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely with you. So 2020, lockdown came. We were watching all these YouTube videos about how people were moving back to Ghana, you know, from Europe, from the US, Canada, setting up businesses here. And we're like, why don't we do something like that? Like, we can do, you know, we can set up a business in Ghana. But what business are we going to set up? So that's when we started brainstorming and asking questions like, okay, what sorts of things can we do when we go back? You know, what am I good at? What are you good at? Can we merge our skills and then set up a business? So during lockdown, we saw that a lot of businesses had set up. They were doing rapid grocery delivery. They were delivering groceries literally within 15, 20 minutes. They'll bring your shopping to you. And we're like, this idea would be fantastic in Ghana because Ghana, there's so much traffic, first of all. There are people who can afford convenience. They want you to bring their groceries to them. They don't want to spend money on fuel, on transportation, wasting 3 hours of their time going to the market. So if we do set this business in Ghana, I think it could work. It can work. So let's just invest in an online supermarket and also, you know, see how it goes over the next few years. And that was how the idea came about. Yeah. And we're here now. We launched KONZOOM in December of 2021. Terrible time to launch a business. My advice to everyone, if you want to set up a business in Ghana, please don't set up the business in the last quarter of the year. October, November, December, just forget those 3 months. Nobody's going to listen to you. All the companies just want the year to end so they can go on a break, you know, spend their Christmas money and start the new year. We launched in mid-December it was hard to even get like PR, get people to, you know, take, you know, just have some, I don't know, be online, have some news, be in the newspapers, whatever, even to do social media marketing for you and stuff. It was very chaotic when we launched. But the idea was to launch in November. But you know how Ghanaian artisans are. So your carpenter delays, and then the people who are supposed to work with you to set up the business don't come through the times they're supposed to come through, and all of that. So the beginning was very hectic. And then the new year started. That's when we were like, wow, we feel like all that pressure of Christmas is over. People have gone back to wherever they're from. Now we can relate to the average Ghanaian and tell them about KONZOOM. So that's when we started reaching out to YouTubers, social media influencers, and they like believed in the idea, they loved it. So a few of them started talking about KONZOOM, shopping from KONZOOM and all of that. And it's been a great journey. When we started, I'm going to be very honest on this video, the first month we made 2,000 cedis. And it was, I wanted to cry. After we made, like at the end of the month, I was like, oh my God, like maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we should just, you know, fold up the business and leave. And then 3 months, 4 months down the line, now we're getting so many people buying from us, shopping. We have our customer returning rate is at 52%. People come, like some people shop from us every 2 weeks, some shop from us every week. New people, we have new customers every single day. And our mission and our goal at the end of the day is to, you know, deliver all the groceries in max 60 minutes. Like offer people affordable groceries as well, because with the inflation, it's so difficult to get affordable groceries. So people are cutting down on all the luxurious things that they used to eat and buy. When you look at our prices compared to other brick and mortar supermarkets, we're literally, no kidding, 15 to 20% less. So when you shop from us, you're saving at the end of your shopping like 80 to 100 cedis, you know. So I feel like we have a lot to offer. And when people catch on to KONZOOM, they'll definitely enjoy just staying at home and ordering from us, and we'll just deliver to them. The main challenge I'll say is the inflation. Every single time you buy new products, the price has shot up. So sometimes you buy products today at a certain price. 3 months down the line, you go back, the price has doubled. And as a business, you need to ask yourself, you know, that economically it's not making sense. The figures are not adding up. You know, someone will say that the math is not mathing, because how are you going to run a business? Supermarkets are not supposed to be increasing their products by 50% every month or every 2 months, but that's the situation we find ourselves in, because there's so much inflation right now in Ghana. Petrol prices are going crazy. So getting supplies has been a challenge. Also, dealing with like landlords is also a huge challenge in Ghana, because 1 minute, like they see, okay, you've started your business, it's going well, and then they'll come with like some clauses. It's like, oh, now you're getting a lot of orders, I think we need to revisit my initial offer to you. You know, that's also a challenge. Like people just decide that because there are no proper structures, people just decide to do what they want. So someone will come to you now and say, oh yeah, we spoke about this a year ago, but I'm changing my mind. I don't want that price anymore. I want this price now. And there's nothing you can do about it, because at the end of the day, it's their property.
Yeah.
So dealing with that as well is very challenging. And employees, for us, we deal with riders. And people always say dealing with riders in Ghana is such a challenge. And they're the core of our business, because without the riders, we can't deliver the groceries. So we've been changing riders so often, because there's always one excuse after the other. So the workforce as well. Yeah, I'll say those are the main challenges we're currently facing as a business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so proud of the fact that we've been resilient in the last 8 months. Because when we started the first 2 months, it wasn't looking great at all. So we could have just said, you know what, we're going to close down the business. After all, we are not going to lose much. You know, we'll just up and leave. But I feel like a lot of people tell us, you know, business is not, you're not going to break even in the first month or two. So you need to keep pushing. And it's just my husband and I that know what the dream is for KONZOOM, what the bigger picture is for KONZOOM. So every time we go home, we pray, we talk, we discuss, we re-strategize. So I think for us, it's just the fact that we've been resilient, and we've been, for a team, it's such a small team with just like 2 co-founders and really loyal employees who are here with us every day, and without the riders, wouldn't be where we are. So really, it's just the resilience and also the fact that we've increased that. When we started, we had about 150 products, and I remember some people wrote to us, they're like, oh, I like your website, but it's only 150 products and there's not a lot of variety. So yeah, and now we had like 800 products. So it's just that growth, you know. And sometimes I'm like, people need to be patient with businesses when they start. You don't expect us to have 800 products, because first of all, this is from our savings that we're doing this. So it's not like we have some big investors backing us to do KONZOOM. This is out of our own pockets that we're doing this. Secondly, we're creating jobs in Ghana. Thirdly, we're Ghanaian owned. We're two young Ghanaian people who have decided to come back to Ghana to invest in the country. So just support us, because we're your people. And then this we can take KONZOOM from where it is now to even bigger platforms and bigger heights. So yeah. And you haven't been to Ghana before, please come, take a trip to Ghana. Spend some time in the country, spend a month, 2 months, 3 months, get to know the people, get to know, you know, where you're going to set up your business, the locations. One mistake we made was when we came, we're like, okay, we're going to get a location. We want a location in Osu, and we're so fixated on Osu. We're like, it's Osu or nothing, it's Osu or nothing. Be open-minded when you want to come and set up a business in Ghana. Don't just, you know, close your mind to other opportunities for your business. Also, you need to research, you need to do your feasibility studies, you need to ask people what they actually need and what they want. And that's one thing that we didn't do earlier on, was ask people what they need, because we were going according to our circle and what they thought would be ideal to start a business. Like, oh, wait, I think this brand works for, you know, milk and dairy. I think this, but the business is beyond you and your friends. So you need to actually go out there and talk to people. You know, what sorts of things you buy, what sorts of things you shop, you know, how much money do you spend on average in a week, in a month. So it took us like a good month or two before we actually started asking these questions. We did all the research on location, you know, we did research on suppliers, we did research on exactly how we're going to set up the business. But what we were missing was that, doing that research, asking the customers what they wanted. So when you're coming, you really need to do that research and spend time in Ghana as well. Get to know the culture, the people, and don't think because you're coming from abroad you're better than the average Ghanaian. The average Ghanaian they'll show you real quick that they live here and they know their way around. So you need to be the one to actually, you know, come to their level, and just, I always say, just humble yourself and everything will be good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ondiro.